music. It's not very good.
Oh, not at all.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, welcome to the Wicked Horror Show. We got an awesome show scheduled for you today. With us today, we have Kevin.
What's going on, everybody?
Yo.
Hey, everybody.
Tony.
What is going on, people?
Kevin, would you like to introduce our awesome guest this evening?
Yes, I would. So, from the movie Silhouette, we have the lead actress from the movie, April Hartman.
Hi, everybody.
We have the director, Mitch McLeod. Is it McLeod, or am I saying it wrong?
It is McLeod. Good job.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm going to mess up this next one, though. We have the composer for the movie as well, which this definitely adds a lot to the... I mean, the movie, it would have been able to do it with something different, but this definitely added to the suspense and to the feel of it. We have Michael Vignola. Is that right?
That is correct. Hello.
Oh, man. I'm knocking it out of the park today. This is great.
Yeah.
Michael,
I just want to bring...
Look at that.
I just want to point out that this movie was suggested to us by friend of the show, Laura Potter. She was raving about it. She said you should really check it out and have these guys on to talk about it. So this is streaming right now on Amazon Prime for free if you have Prime. And it's definitely like a slow burn. I really enjoy a slow burn as long as there's really good payoff. And there was definitely good payoff in this one. So I guess we'll start with Mitch. Do you want to give a quick synopsis about what the movie is about and what people may be able to expect when they see this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always describe it the same way, the way that's on the IMDb. Silhouette. It's the story of Jack and Amanda Harms. They're a married couple. after they lose their young daughter to illness, they set out into seclusion, kind of a secluded country home, where they try to kind of pick up their lives and start over. However, of course, this being a horror film, things don't go exactly to plan. Things go awry when the sins of their past come back to haunt them. So it's certainly a ghost story. As you can tell, it sounds very pleasant. It's a very pleasant film. But yeah, it's just a haunting story. But I definitely wanted to present something that wasn't your run-of-the-mill ghost story, because we have so many stories of couple going to a new house and things go wrong. So I kind of wanted to take something familiar and put a new spin on it.
Nice. Well, definitely. I feel like you really pulled it off. It's very, very dark and brooding throughout the whole movie, and it definitely, you have feelings that really kind of get twisted. Like as things kind of progress. And there was one thing I don't want to obviously spoil anything, but there's like somewhat of a twist towards the end, and I didn't see it coming at all. Tony did, but I didn't. Yeah. And it's the thing is, like, we've seen a billion movies, so it's something where, you can't help but be like, all right, this is going to happen next. This is going to happen next, and you can't help but do that. And I was wrong, so that was cool. So I appreciate that.
Good.
So, like I was saying, there's a lot of really, really like deep emotion, and just like you really start to feel for the character. So that goes into April. Like your portrayal, like looking at your IMDb, you've kind of been all over the place too. Like you're not just like the serious one. Like you kind of run the gamut. So where did you pull this out of? How much did you cry on set? Like all of it?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It felt like every day. It felt like every second of every day.
Wow.
No, it was grueling. I'm not gonna lie. Mitch ran me through the. Yeah, it was hard. There was times where I may have cursed a little bit.
Oh, all right. If you need to curse on the show here as well, you can do that as well.
There was times where I was like, I don't have it. I can't. I'm done, Mitch. I've got no more. And he's like, yes, you do. And he yelled at me back, and I was like, screw you. And he's like, do it. There was some of those moments.
That's a motivating conversation.
In the middle of the conversation, like the argument, you just like, okay, action. Like you just filming that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
it was
then,
great though. He made a great environment for that though. I mean, I've been on a lot of sets where you have very high intensity emotional scenes, and not a lot of people on set understand that and what it takes, and they're making jokes and and you're like, I'm trying to cry here. But Mitch made it easy. He made it. I mean, he would shut it down. He was like, everybody shut up, shut it down, turn off the lights. April, get there however long you need. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So he made it a lot easier than I've had experienced previously.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's still pretty intense. Like I don't know. And then just to touch a little bit on it too, Michael, with the score, I definitely, like I was saying before, I definitely feel like it added to it. The story was really good anyways, but it definitely added to the emotion and the suspense that's in there as well. So you've been composing film and stuff for quite a while as well, right?
Yeah. I started in about in 2016. I started about 4 or 5 years now.
Nice. I was actually trying to figure out how you made certain sounds. There was a few things I'm like, that sounds like a bottle on a guitar string. I don't know if that's the case. That's what it sounded like. But anyway,
a lot of sound design stuff, like experimentation kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool though. I kind of want to turn it over to the other guys on the show and maybe get your guys' thoughts on the movie.
Well,
Tony.
I guess I'll start. You mentioned slow burns, and I'm a big fan of character development and whatever. So as long as you, like you said, as long as there's a good payoff, then it makes it all worth it. And this movie, I think, like bookended it, because right in that first scene, I was like, okay, like it caught me very like right from the beginning, and then you get the character development, you learn about the characters, and then by the end it's like then the whole story wraps up, and then it finally comes to that point that I'm like, okay, this is what I was waiting for. So I was, in the middle. It was one of those things like I'm like, okay, Kevin said he didn't. I don't want to say I saw it coming, but when it happened, it didn't like I wasn't like, oh my God. But it's also because I've seen so many movies that, like Kevin was saying, in the middle of it, I have 10 scenarios running through my head at all given times. So then I kind of check it off or whatever. I enjoyed it thoroughly. With the story and, like I said, the character development, you start feeling some movies you watch and you're like, okay, well, I really don't care for the characters all that much, but you get to learn with the characters and feel for them. So I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Who's next? Leo or Yo-Yo?
Yeah, I'll go next. I mean, for me, like I do, like everyone here, we love like character development, and I think that what's really like drew me into the movie more, like because I really felt for them in their relationship, and then to just have it and like how that movie ended was just like amazing, personally.
Nice. Leopold.
Yeah, so I agree with you guys. The story is definitely very gripping. I didn't see the ending coming like Kevin, similar to him. But I have to tell you that friggin' knife scene. I mean, holy crap! Not once, but twice.
Don't say too much about it. Don't say too much about the knife scene. But yeah, there's a knife scene that is brutal. So
yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there like that love certain kinds of horror, and they're like gore freaks, and they just want gore. That's not where you're going to get with this one. You're going to get a really good story, and you're going to actually care about the characters. But then there is some gore that shows up. It's like they make up for it in that one scene, and it's brutal, and you can almost feel it, So yeah, that was that alone right there, I think made up for it. Well, plus you have the opening scene, right? So it's like you bookend it kind of, but definitely, there's some payoff there as well. So I don't know, Leo, do you want to maybe play the trailer?
Yeah. Just want to let everybody know we have a ton of information in the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. So we have where you can follow all our awesome guests. And like we said, this is available on Amazon Prime. So if you want to check it out after the show, don't leave just yet. Click on the link there. You'll go to Amazon Prime and you can check it. If you got Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you anything except the $100 a year for Amazon. Here we go. Here's the trailer for Silhouette.
I can't wait for you to finally see it. I really think this is going to be the change I've been needing. Amanda.
Yeah. This all belonged to someone else. None of this is ours.
Sweetie, this is what I was talking about. A fresh start. A new life. I mean, a second chance. This is it. It's all right here, right in front of us. I'm gonna be happy here, okay? I promise.
I believe you. You don't think I knew that?
So there's that.
Looks cool.
Am I right,
Looks like
guys?
a good movie.
It does. It looks really cool. I kind of want to watch it. So going back into the story, I guess, Mitch, like you are also the writer of this as well. Where did this come from?
Oh, I don't really know. I just I had an image in my mind. I guess that's how almost everything that I write, or probably any writer writes, really, kind of starts off with one thing, and I can't really say what it is, because if I did, it would spoil the film to those of us who may not have seen it. But it was just this sudden rush of just extraordinary violence and looking down on this character while it happened. And I'm big into solving mysteries, and especially when they're mysteries that you create. And I kind of wanted to solve that mystery and figure out who this person was, why this thing was happening to them, and what happened leading up to it, and what would the aftermath be. And I started to think about these two people. I saw this couple that was in this situation of turmoil, who had suffered this great loss, and I almost just made a drama. But then I started to think about the violence and how horror could really play into it. And I wound up thinking about this murder, actually, that happened down the street from where I lived when I was a child. And again, I can't go into too much detail of that particular murder because it would be a spoiler. But it just kind of dawned on me when I was putting the story together, and I started to think about why a person would do these things and what could lead a person to do these things. And it really was troubling to me, because the more I thought about it, I really did want to understand it. And I guess I still haven't come to understand it after having written and made the film, but it really was a good source of inspiration. And little by little, it just came together, the story of these two people and what they were going through, what they had lost and what they had left behind. And, knowing that eventually everything comes full circle. And I know it's dark and I know it's twisted in a lot of ways, but I was just very excited to watch that full circle be fulfilled. So it just slowly kind of became what it is now.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of feels. Like it's very
yeah.
I have a projector and I was watching it, all the lights off, whatever, and it felt like at times I'm just like, I should probably take a break, because it's getting like really, really.
Like, did you ever feel like while watching it, like you're like watching, like you were not supposed to be there, like during some of those scenes? You're like, maybe I should leave.
Yeah. And that goes into everything. That goes into the story. That goes into how the characters were portrayed, and it goes into the music and everything. It was all very much, a part of everything. So, how did you guys come to know each other? Like, have you guys worked together in the past?
Oh.
I knew this was going to come up.
I already know some of the answers because I watched people's demo reels. I'm just saying.
Oh, my.
April, you were the first one to have a reaction, so why don't you go ahead?
Well, it was years ago. I was working on another film, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I really don't want people to look it up and watch it. But it was another semi-horror film, and there was a disagreement between me and the director, and it just so happened to be the day that Mitch was there and filming his scene. And I wasn't okay. Listen, let me preface this by saying I am not a diva in any way. You hire me to do a job, I'm going to do a job. That is so true. I'm not. However, when we meet about the project beforehand and I say, director, I'm not comfortable with this, how about we do it this way? And he says, okay. And then we got on set and he's like, okay, drop it. And I'm like, wait a minute. And not that I have a problem with nudity. I've done that before too, but we discussed it and we came to an agreement, and then we got on set and it was a different story. And so it just happened to be the day Mitch was there that I start going off because I'm like, this is not what we talked about. So, yeah, that's how I met Mitch.
All right. Well,
and it's funny too because it's a film that I don't think that most people are proud of being a part of, and I don't say that with malice. I hope that the person and people involved never watch this. But
Yeah.
no, I did watch it one night. I was given a copy of it, and I was in it, and you know, there are fine actors in the movie who didn't deliver their best because with this certain individual, like most people don't. But I was actually watching it, and I didn't really know April very well, except for that one day I had spent with her on set. But I'm watching this movie, and it's not any good. And there's not much going on for it. But I start watching her performance, and I'm like, this woman is actually really, really killing it in this movie. Definitely well above the standard that was set for the film. And I kind of forgotten about it, but when I started conceptualizing Silhouette and thinking about it, I guess that you know, she had done such a good job in the film that when I was writing the role, I knew, like, for a fact that was who I was going to for that role. There's nobody else in my mind that I thought I was going to use. And then fortunately I started doing some acting again, and I started taking classes, and she was in those classes, and I got to see her work on a weekly basis. And you know, by that point there was just no doubt whatsoever.
Nice. How did Michael come into the mix?
Michael.
Well, yeah, I had a mutual friend that Mitch knew. Worked on a previous project, and I found Mitch's Kickstarter campaign for the film, and I was intrigued and reached out to him, and from there we started kind of talking, and that's how I got involved through in that way. So. Nice. It was a connection with a mutual friend, and I saw the campaign and had to reach out. I felt just by watching him and watching him explain the story and the vibe of everything, I just had a feeling about it and just wanted to get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I checked out Michael's music, you know, there was definitely some stuff that wasn't my style that was made for other projects. But for the most part, when I was listening to his music and, you know, kind of getting a feel for him and what he was about, it felt like the majority of his music was hand-tailored for me as far as my stylistic preferences. So, you know, it really wasn't that difficult of a decision to make on that one either. There's been a lot of composers who have, you know, everyone's always trying to sell themselves, which they should. There's been a lot of composers who have reached out to me over time. And, you know, I think Michael's the only person who has ever been like, hey, I'm interested in working with you. And from a different state, nowhere near me. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. His music's amazing. So we were really, really fortunate enough to get him out.
Nice. And it, so yeah, that was actually one thing I was going to ask is like, as Michael, you were saying that you were in like the New York, New Jersey-ish area. Yes. I know that Mitch is in Texas. So it was all done. You guys weren't in the same room, or you guys weren't together when this was going on. How does that process work? Does he send you the footage and you just send him some ideas, or?
Yeah, well, I had the cut and I work on it, and we have conversations on. We'll talk through the scenes, and just kind of get a feel of what he's looking for, and from there I would just come up with some loose ideas. I wouldn't go too deep in and send them out, making sure we're getting the tone right, and then he'll go, yeah, this is the direction, keep going, and we'll develop the things like that. You know.
Nice. Well, like I was saying before, it definitely it adds to it, and especially with like more independent, like lower budget kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not very often that a score really kind of sticks out. So mm-hmm. that's another thing too. Like it, the movie looks great, but it's obviously not like a bajillion-dollar movie. It's mm-hmm. It's not a low budget, but it's lower budget, and it has like the story and the acting and just the the score just kind of, it felt like it should have been a bigger budget almost, you know, which I'm sure you guys kind of agree with, I would hope, right?
Yeah.
Neutral.
You said neutral? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you produce it as well?
Yeah, I did. I've been making my own lower budget stuff for a while, so I've kind of gotten into the hang of that, to the feel of that. I did have a little bit more help this time around than I had on previous efforts, but still, I mean, almost everything behind the scenes was something that I was handling. I put together my team, put together my cast. I did a lot of producing on this one as well.
Nice. I don't want to hog everything. I just wanted to throw it over to one of you guys because I haven't shut up.
Yeah.
So I apologize. Remember I told you, Mitch? I don't shut up. So it's
Wolfie in the chat room says, I know the movie they speak of, and April was one of the best things in that movie.
Stop it.
Oh, Shaw.
Hey, Wolfie, leave us a rating and review on IMDb.
Thank you.
On Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Same thing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So it's available on Amazon. Anywhere else on VOD?
I believe it's on Tubi.com and Roku as well. And we are going to be doing a DVD release later on this year. I'm not sure the exact date yet. I think there's talk actually. It's actually been really fun because most of the time, especially low budget, you go with a distributor and they kind of change everything. They change the title. They do all these things for marketing purposes. And, we were very fortunate to keep Silhouette as the title and actually, have some pretty cool cover art that they put together for us on the digital side. I think, and sorry, ITN, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to divulge this information. I don't think they'll care. I think it's going to be called A Haunting in Texas when they release it on DVD, whatever point this year they decided to do that.
At least you didn't get Silhouette tattooed on you. I have a friend who's a filmmaker, and he had a movie, and it was his first feature, and he got the logo that he created for the for the movie.
I have it right here. No,
and then it got distribution, and they changed the title. So he's like, I guess it's well.
You knew
That's why you never get names. You never get tattoo names.
That's true. Yeah.
Wasn't there? We did this years ago. There was a movie where when they finally released on DVD, the cover had nothing to do with the movie.
Oh, there's plenty of them.
Oh, that's Wick movie.
I remember.
We have friends that do that on purpose. Like there's people that will be in a movie for like 2 seconds and they're on the cover. It's like, hey, we had this guy in it, and he's literally just like, oh hey, what's up in the movie? That's it. It's I don't know, whatever. It's a claim to fame.
Do that with like big stars. Like I remember, what was it? I can't even think. Alex, The Secret World of Alex Mack. It was a TV show I used to watch, and Jessica Alba was in it for like, I don't know, 4 minutes, and she's plastered right on the thing, and it's like, oh, it's starring Jessica Alba. I'm like, I remember this girl in the show, and she was in there for like 2 minutes, but you wouldn't tell by the cover because she's like front and center, like the front there. I'm like, okay, well,
it's paying the bills. That's all it is. But yeah, anyways.
Now, since you said it is getting a physical release, did you have any like the thing that I enjoy, as you can tell, I got plenty like behind the scenes kind of deal or bloopers or anything like that? Did anything crazy happen on set that you have you might have in like special features?
Not really. We had a couple of things to work with, but I don't think that we'd have enough to do special features. We did have, I don't know, I'm going to talk to my editor actually and see about some of the blooper stuff. We did have a night where it's the scene where she's walking through the woods.
Okay, listen.
And we needed to keep her scared. And April is very jumpy. April is not difficult to frighten at all.
Okay, listen.
So my
Tell
my
the whole
camera
story.
my camera op and myself, we were in the woods late at night, and I break off a branch from this tree next to us, and we both start prodding her with it, and every time we do, she's just all over the place, freaking
it
out.
wasn't prodding. It was like running it on my. So I think there's something crawling on me.
Yeah.
And let me just say, it's not just in the middle of the night in the woods out in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch dark,
Yeah.
except for a couple of little lights they have set up. And I think that, how sometimes, spiders will come out of the tree on the wet. And so I don't like them. And so they do that where I'm like, "Ah!" and I just start running.
Well, so one of my favorite shots in the film, actually, because it's a beautiful shot. It's when she first enters the woods, and you see the light coming through the trees, and there's a little bit of fog out there. And the shot starts on her feet, and it kind of rises up while she goes out in the distance to cross to the next part of the woods. And as she's doing it, she runs into a branch while she's walking. And I think she must have leapt about 60 feet to the right of her afterward, trying to fight off this invisible attacker. And it was a beautiful thing. I have it somewhere on a drive, buried deep somewhere in this planet. Yeah, I'll find it.
It may not be appropriate for this movie, but I've always wanted to see a really, really serious movie and have bloopers, but have it be like the old Smokey and the Bandit blooper reels, like at the end, where it's just like ridiculous. But a really, really serious, like intense movie, just absolutely ridiculous at the end. I would love to see that at some point.
It was, yeah. You know what? Listen, anybody would have done the same in my position.
I would have. I'm terrified. Like, I'm not a forest guy at all. Spiders, like, I legit will pull over a car and just.
Well, especially when Mitch is like, "Okay, April, don't blink. Stay focused. You're walking. You think you see your dog. Just keep, and you're all serious and you're walking." And I'm just looking straight ahead, and all of a sudden this branch is like, I'm like, "Ah, take off." He's like, "You just ruined the shot." I'm like, "What was that?"
Well, you could have said, I just saw her and I ran away. Could have been the perfect shot.
Yeah.
Which is like, not in the script. I'm like,
improv right now.
stuff on my head. Like, yeah, it was, that was an interesting night. The same night, this is the same night that I had, the reason I had to go get a tetanus shot the next day is because of this night. Where were we at?
Haunted house in Denton.
Yeah. And I was like, I gotta pee a little. And they were like, "Well, pick a tree." And so I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go over here by this wood shed thing over here and do my business." So I go over there and pee. I'm kind of a klutz. I'm kind of just by nature a disaster. And so I'm done, stand up, and I don't look behind me. And as I stand up, I'm like, "Ow!" And I turn around, and there's this rusty nail sticking out of the board like that far and just went down my ass. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm bleeding. I'm like, well, that's not good. So I go back to the crew. I'm like, "Hey, am I going to die of whatever?" A rusty nail. They're like, "Yeah, you need to get a tetanus."
Did you see it was at a haunted house, like around Halloween time haunted house? Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. We have a friend who actually ran one out in Texas. I don't know what part though. Texas is a very big state, so I don't know. But was it DEF CON 1? What was it called? Buddy Bill's place. Do you remember, Leo?
No.
You ever hear of Billy Pond? Any of you guys out in Texas? No. He did a movie called Circus of the Dead.
Oh, I have heard of that.
I do know that movie, yeah.
Yeah, Popcorn, and he's in Texas. He runs a haunt out there as well.
Yep.
But,
DEF CON Warzone.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where he's from.
I
Texas
haven't heard that.
It's gigantic, so I'm sure it's nowhere around you guys. But anyways, so
The moral is watch where you're peeing.
yeah,
Odessa.
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 Oh, I don't know what that is. So did this get any kind of like did you do like a festival circuit, or did you do like any kind of premiere or anything with this?
Yeah, we did. The first time we screened it, we did local screening. That was just kind of a way to test the waters and to get our friends and our family out there to see what we had done, see what they thought. And then we did our first festival screening was in Muskogee, Oklahoma, where we played at Bare Bones International Film Festival, and we won best horror, best of fest, and best actress. But we didn't know that we had won best actress for a little bit. They called Vivica Fox's name when they were announcing the award, but it was actually April who had won. So good for her.
People mix us up a lot, though. So.
Is that a nickname? Should we have called you that from the beginning? Or?
Yeah.
Really?
It would only happen to me. It would only happen to me. I showed up and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna happen. And they called Vivica A. Fox. I'm like, well, she's not here. And then I leave and Mitch calls me. He's like, yeah, you won. I'm like, of course I did. What did that happen? I just got green-lighted.
Was she in a movie that was at the festival, or
was Steve Harvey hosting?
It would have been a lot funnier if she wasn't though.
Yeah,
right?
She always wins. She wins in my heart every time. So Michael, have you ever seen the movie on the big screen? Like, were you ever at any of the screenings or anything?
Unfortunately, no. I wasn't able to make it out.
Now all the movie theaters are shut down, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, for a little while.
Hopefully not too long.
Yeah.
So with everything that's going on with the whole everything, are you guys keeping busy? Like, are you guys still able to work?
No, not at all.
It's been horrible. It's been horrible.
Yeah.
Dying.
Well, I'm in post, so I've been fortunate. I've been keeping pretty busy, but things are starting to taper off a little bit now. That ripple effect is starting to come, I think, because the production's on halt and a lot of stuff isn't going into post right now.
Yeah.
So
I just now started getting auditions again. I think some things are starting to go. I just booked a film, but they were also like, we don't know if we're going to film it next month as planned or if we're going to have to push again because numbers are spiking. So I don't know. It's been crazy.
Yeah, my wife had something that was supposed to shoot back in April, and I guess they just reached out today to say they might do it in September, but there's just no way of knowing what's going on right now or what's going to happen. If people would just wear their fucking masks, maybe we could get through this real fast.
We were actually talking about that before you guys came on, about how like I was at Home Depot the other day and like literally there was like a whole family that just weren't wearing masks. I'm like,
yeah,
you're part of the problem, people. Let's go. Like, even if you don't agree with it, wear a mask. You know?
Yeah, 'cause it's not like I'm asking you to wear some torture device around your head. You're walking into a grocery store. You can suffer the 25 to 30 minutes tops it takes you to wear a mask.
Yeah,
and it's not some great inconvenience to anyone. You're just
but
trying
it's my right.
yeah.
It's my constitutional right not to wear a mask. No, I'm sorry.
Or the stupid saying where they can't breathe because they're wearing a mask.
Well, a mask is a lot easier to wear than a ventilator.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do have to say, since I've had to wear a mask, I've really stepped it up on my breath game. I've realized I drink too much coffee, and I was like, oh, all right, this is a thing that people have had to deal with all my life. That's been it. Anyway. So yeah, I'll wait for your friend, especially when you have to smell your own breath. So anyways.
But to tell you the truth, as go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, actually, I was just gonna.
Coffee is what he was gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. One thing we do enjoy around here is coffee breath, and if you want to have the best coffee breath,
I like good coffee breath.
Okay, so sponsor of ours, if I can find the right button. Deadly Grounds Coffee. Now more than ever, you need to support. We're supporting indie artists, but also indie filmmakers, indie businesses. Deadly Grounds Coffee is a local roaster right here in Connecticut, Norwalk, Connecticut. Easily the best tasting coffee you'll ever have. It's not overly caffeinated. It's just the best tasting coffee. Just regular caffeine, or you can get decaf if you can't have caffeine. But you know what? Don't believe me. Here's a zombie talking about coffee.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds Coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds Coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And link is in the show notes down below or above if you're looking for a good coffee to start with. Death by Chocolate, also Witch's Brew, which is the chocolate raspberry.
I'm gonna get some just for that commercial.
That is
Totally.
amazing.
Yeah, he does corporate commercials. That's like his day job, and he does coffee, as his side business as well. So,
Right.
yeah.
And if you ever go to a convention that he's at, he usually goes in a hearse, and the hearse is filled with the coffee, and like he'll have like a casket open, with all the coffee in it. He's a good dude. That's how we got involved with him. We were spending all of our money at conventions, and then he's like, we should work together, because literally we would go and spend a couple $100s before the convention even started.
Yeah.
On coffee.
Like, make sure you get the good flavors,
Yeah, exactly.
We're
But anyway.
I think that Michael Vignola is being awfully quiet. So
yeah.
On
I
the
think we
composer,
bring him
behind the scenes. That's
bring him into the mix a little bit more.
Yeah. So Michael, you've like we were saying before, you've been doing this for a little bit of time now. Was it 2016? You said you started?
Yeah, 2016. Mm-hmm.
You've been a musician your whole life, or when did you start?
Yeah, since I'm very little, 8 years old, I started playing, piano and clarinet, and got into playing guitar when I was around 15. So yeah, I've been doing it a little while, my whole life. So
nice. And 2016 is when is this just like your full-time gig now? Is this what you do?
Yes, I'm doing this full time. Yeah, I was playing in bands too, playing around New York City and touring, and played the Vans Warped Tour.
Oh, nice. What band?
I was in a band called Near Forever, the indie band, and we went on tour across the. It was pretty fun. Pretty crazy experience. And after that, things kind of panned down, and I kind of started going back to what I've always kind of wanted to do, and that's getting into film. So.
Weird something just got wicked loud out of nowhere. But anyway, that's pretty cool. I play bass. I've been playing since. I was
very cool.
Yeah, I've been playing since I think it was 5th grade. I think I started, and I'm 44 now. So yeah, I'm old.
Yeah.
But I'm playing the same deal. I would play like all these places, and then eventually just like, hey, I'm the old guy at the club. I don't want to do that. So now I do this instead.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed the score. It's something that I would actually listen to on its own. I think it's a very, maybe not like on a day when I want to be happy. I don't think I would listen to it.
Right.
So down, it would really get me to that extra level where I'm contemplating. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I Mitch, you said earlier too, like when you first listened to Michael's stuff, it wasn't really your thing except for certain parts. So you're kind of all over the place, right? It's something where you may not necessarily do just the really like somber stuff. You're kind of all over the board.
Yes. I mean, I mix it up a little bit. I do some. Where I really sit is kind of like a contemporary classical kind of vibe, and it kind of goes into experimental. It does go into more dramatic kind of stuff, but mainly I kind of sit in the contemporary era, classical, post minimalism kind of stuff. Is where I like to kind of sit, but I do like to experiment and push kind of the limits and do things like that for sure. Nice. Silhouette, the soundtrack is actually releasing this Friday.
Oh, really?
We're on Spotify and iTunes and everything, so you guys can check it out.
I will.
By the way, Michael's music was always kind of my thing. There are a couple of things on it that are a little different, but again, I just felt like his music just really stood out to me, and I almost felt like in a lot of ways the style like truly was hand-tailored for me. So just wanted to clarify that. Michael was always kind of his music spoke to me on a level that very many things do not. So
thank you.
Now, do you think you guys will work together in the future? Is it like a good working relationship where, this is something that you guys want to continue, or?
Yes, definitely. For me, yeah.
Nice. And Mitch, you haven't. This is only your second feature. What? Have you directed?
I like to say it's my second one. I technically did do another one back in the day that I started doing in 2012, but I really consider that to be more of my film school than something that I would call a cohesive feature film. I set out and I wanted to do something and I wanted to make it, and it didn't really matter that I didn't know how. It's just something that I felt like I needed to do, and obviously having no experience really prior to that, other than maybe working as a crew member on a couple of independent sets. It wasn't great. And, there's people who have enjoyed it, and I'm sure there's people who haven't. And I've had opportunities to release it, to distribute it, but it's just something that I'd rather kind of keep to myself. And not so much the story. I'm a big fan of the story, and I actually kind of enjoy the script. So there may come a day where I decide that that's something I might like to revisit now that I've got a little more affiliated with this lifestyle, having a little more knowledge as a director of, how to handle things and what I need to do. So I really do love the story, but so yes, actually, so no, technically it's my third feature film, but it's one of two that I talk about.
Okay. Yeah, the other one it was a test.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's always like really impressive to me, like when you see like not a first time filmmaker, but a newer, like I guess newer in the sense of you don't have many features under your belt, make something like this kind of quality, and not only that, but also get the kind of distribution that you're getting where, we can easily on Prime. That's a big deal to me, I think. And I don't know like what kind of deal you get with them, but I'm sure it's pretty easy to just be like, oh yeah, you want to check out my stuff? You have Prime, everyone does except for Yo-Yo apparently. So just go check it out, and it's right there, and it's a good watch. And yeah, I don't know, it's always very impressive to me that like especially like younger filmmakers that in their career can go,
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just going to break in here for a quick second for the people just joining us. We're talking about the movie Silhouette. There's a bunch of information in the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And the cool thing is, it is available on Amazon Prime. I got a link there as well. So after tonight's show, make sure you check it out. And for people just joining us, here's the trailer for Silhouette.
I can't wait for you to finally see it. I really think this is going to be the change I've been needing. Amanda.
Yeah. This all belonged to someone else. None of this is ours.
Sweetie, this is what I was talking about. A fresh start. A new life. A second chance. This is it. It's all right here, right in front of us. I'm gonna be happy here, okay? I promise.
I believe you.
And Silhouette, again, links in the show notes down below or up above, and Amazon right there.
Yes, exactly. So we're actually pretty close to wrapping up, so we should probably go through some plugs if you guys want to talk about anything that you have in the works, or maybe something before the pandemic hit that was planning to come out.
Actually, before we get into this is actually a question I had about one of the scenes. It's a technical question. The scene in the car. How did you manage to do that one? Hoping you know which one I'm talking about.
Which scene are we talking about?
The 360?
Yeah.
Oh, we just put it on a gimbal, and we had a rotator on it, and we had a very cool little switch that we just flipped. We set the settings for the speed, and we let it go. It was actually very easy.
Well, it came out amazing, that scene. Definitely wanted to ask about that.
Thanks. Yeah, that's actually a scene that I almost cut just for running time, but my editor, who is also the cinematographer of the film, convinced me to keep it. And now that we have, I'm very glad that we did.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot. It's like I was saying when we started. It's a slow burn. I definitely recommend it to people. But if you're a fan of like people like Ty West and stuff like that, I think that you'll respect the slow burn, because all of his movies are slow burns, and there's always great payoff. And it's the same thing with this. So if you're expecting a beginning to end gore fest, you're not gonna be happy with it. If you are looking for good character development, a really good story, great music, you'll be good. So there's that. But anyways,
and before I just want to get one point before all the plugs and whatever. But before you were talking about, it's hard to get work now at this point. But with this pandemic, I think a lot of people are actually looking for I guess you would call them indie films, because nowadays everybody, I think, has watched all the movies they've seen before. They're looking for something new. I've talked to many people that really aren't movie fans, and that's what I do on my YouTube. I'll do like more independent films and reviews, and they're asking me for that as opposed to big budget films. Now they're looking for something new. They're looking for something intriguing, looking for something different. And I think this one definitely fits that mold. So, especially with Amazon Prime and Shudder, we were talking, and all this stuff. It's one of those things where, people are looking for these, movies that they're not accustomed to. So I think this is like the perfect time for it.
Yeah.
Good. I hope so. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's do the rundown. Let's start with what?
No, I was agreeing. I said totally.
Oh, okay. I just heard, anyways, so Michael, you were saying that the soundtrack for this is coming out Friday?
Yeah, it's coming out July 3rd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Spotify everywhere?
Yeah, everywhere. Worldwide, you can get it on any major platform anymore, a major streaming platform.
Nice. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And also, do you have any other projects that you worked on that's coming out, or anything you would recommend to someone who's kind of like myself? Now I kind of want to track down some more of your stuff.
Well, I do have a lot of stuff I have now is kind of on the festival run. I do have a really cool sci-fi film coming out maybe within the next month or two, depending on a couple of things, called Alone. That's going to be coming out soon. So I think that's something that was a really fun, cool project that I just finished up.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you want to touch on, like, if people want to follow your career and stuff like that, where can people go to?
Yeah. You can check out my website. I got everything up there. All updates on vignolamusic.com.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, and if you have issues with the spelling, I got the links in the show notes. There we go.
April, what about you? What do you have in the works?
So I have a comedy, believe it or not, coming out next month called Frackers. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's ridiculous fun. An alien on the High Council, so it can't be bad, right?
No.
So that'll be out on streaming next month, and then another film called No Ordinary Love, which is about domestic abuse. That's doing the festival run right now. So Hopefully that will be out digitally in the next couple of months. I'm not sure when it's going to finish its festival run. And then a movie called Sober that will be out hopefully again in the next couple of months. So if I'm lucky, those will come back to back to back and be out for everyone to see on some kind of platform. So
Nice.
Yay.
And definitely check out your IMDb and everything. There's a lot of projects you've been involved in. Some of them I was like, when I saw the movie at first, I was like, I think I know her from something. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is. The only thing that I recognized was that Tig Notaro show. But I don't know how you were in.
One Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I was like, I know I definitely saw that show, so maybe it's that. I don't know. But where can people find you? Like, where do you like people following you?
I have all of it. I've got the IMDb. I've got just under April Hartman. The Facebook, I have a personal page that's almost max. So you'll have to go to the actor page. It's just under April Hartman. Instagram is under April Hartman. Twitter's April D Hartman because my middle name is Dawn. So I have all of it. You can follow me anywhere.
All right, cool. And Mitch?
Hi.
What do you got in the works? Or besides that first movie that you don't want people to see, what else can people order yours?
So I've actually been really passionate about putting together a film I've been conceptualizing for a while now called Yankee Rose, and that's a film that's been written and is pretty much ready to go. I was kind of making some things happen with it before the pandemic occurred. Now that we're in this particular situation, we'll see what happens. But hopefully I'll be slotted to start shooting it in January. I've got a lot of the cast of Silhouette returning for that film. I've got a couple of name actors that are confirmed to come be in the film whenever we can make it happen. I'm not going to divulge those names yet, not in the place where I can announce it yet, but I'm really excited about it. It's Yankee Rose, a satanic love story, which probably sounds different than what it actually is, but I'm really excited about it. It explores some themes that I started to explore in Silhouette that I feel I didn't go quite as far as I wanted to go. I don't know if it's because I was afraid to or what happened, but I'm really excited. It's kind of the same thing, horror drama. It'll be probably a slow burn as well, not as much of a slow burn, and not as hopeless, I guess I should say, as Silhouette, because I know that Silhouette doesn't really give a lot of breathing room. So hopefully there'll be a little more light at the end of this particular tunnel, but I'm really excited about it. It's my favorite thing I've written, and I'm really, really excited to get to work on it.
Awesome. Sounds cool. Definitely keep us posted. Whenever things happen, we'll definitely, if you have like a crowdfunding or anything like that, just let us know, and we'll definitely be more than happy to help. But yeah.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah. And where can people follow you for updates?
The biggest thing that I like to point people to is the official Absentia Pictures page. I don't really like to split things up by title. My executive producer created a Silhouette page, and that's why that page exists. But I like to keep everything on the Absentia Pictures Facebook page. So www.facebook.com/Absentia Pictures. That's where you can find the things that I'm writing and directing. That's where you can find other projects that I'm producing that weren't necessarily written or directed by me. We have lots of stuff going on, and yeah, that's where I like to do it. I also have the Instagram handle Absentia_Mitch, and I think I have a Twitter, but I don't really do the whole Twitter thing, so I couldn't give you the information on it. If you look up my name, I'm sure you can find me on there as well.
All right, sounds cool. Leo, you want to do
that? Yeah. Where's the damn button? There it is. For all the links for all our awesome guests, definitely check the show notes down below or above. And also for this show, along with a bunch of others, you can find them on thedorkening.com. Head on over to thedorkening.com. All our shows can be found on pretty much wherever podcasts are found. Also YouTube, Facebook, just about everywhere. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not saying which is which. And how about Tony?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, whatever have you, anything about movies. I got a 1,500 subscriber contest still going on until the 2nd. So if you want to win some free stuff, I got a couple prizes. Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Dorkening every Tuesday night. Yo.
Tony, feel free to do a review on Silhouette.
Okay, well, I'm off tomorrow, so I'll do a review for you.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
All right.
All right. So you can find me at Boy Meets Phone on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And you'll see me on those same social media channels. And of course, you can find me here. Kevin?
A-Knuckle on Twitter and Instagram. Every Tuesday night here on the Wicked Horror Show. I'm also doing reviews with the 13th Wolfman over on the audio side. I'm also part of Black and White Fright and Secret Underground Hideout, all of which are on the network. And that is about that, Leo Pond.
Yeah. I think I said it already.
You did. You did.
Yeah.
You left yourself with nothing to say at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys. I know that you've all come to the Absentia Pictures page and liked it. It means a lot. We're growing an audience, and we're really happy about that. So thanks for doing that.
And thanks for making a really cool movie. And thank you to Laura Potter for suggesting that we check it out too.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, nice.
So check all the show notes for all that information. We'll catch you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.